Hello and welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So I have here another currently inked video, and this is currently inked for the 22nd of April 2019. Now I haven't done these videos for a while, and I was having problems or working out how to do these because I was having between 30 and 50 pens inked up at any one time, and I was really averaging more around the top end closer to 40. So one of my New Year's resolutions was to try and reduce the amount of pens that I have inked up. And with that, I have in the last few months been able to get down to under 20 pens inked up. So I'm bringing this series back and we'll see if this is going to work in this new format. But I'm going to show you 20 pens inked up, but instead of doing one video per month of currently inked, I'm going to try and do two for the time being. So in each video I will show you 10 pens. I know you have also asked if I can do writing samples, and I have previously done these on the top 10 videos and on all of my reviews. So with showing 10 pens here on the currently inked, this actually makes it a lot more manageable to do that writing sample. So here are 10 of the pens that I currently have inked up for this week and these couple of weeks. So let's have a look at these pens. So from left to right we have the Visconti Divina, and this is the Desert Springs model, and this is a really gorgeous celluloid, and this is a pen that I had early on in my collection that I purchased, and you can see here this material is absolutely stunning. So this pen is a Visconti, and it's celluloid, it's an oversized pen. It comes with a 23 carat palladium medium nib there. And this is a pen that I have not really written with for some time now, and it's been about 18 months. I decided that I would ink this up because it has been some time, and I've been writing with it more recently. And for me, this pen is a lovely pen. Now, I normally dedicate an ink to this pen, and this is Pilot of Washizuku Tsuji, which is a pink ink. Now, I really probably should have had a brown or a red or an orangey ink because of the material, because I like to match my ink colours to the pen colours. But this is an ink that I put in here early on in my collection that I had, and it's an ink that I really love in this pen, and you get these combinations of pens and inks that suddenly come alive and actually write really well. So you can see here the size of the pen is actually really nice in my hand. It's a push-pull captured converter, and this holds around about 0.6-0.7 milliliters of ink, but for me it's a nice writer. It does run out quite quickly. Viscontis tend to be quite wet nibs, juicy wet nibs, but for me that is a pen that I have been writing with this past week. Another pen is the Visconti Watermark, and this is a lovely sterling silver plated in a palladium finish here to make it shine a little bit more. And this, as you can see, it's a skeleton overlay, and this has a 23 carat palladium nib again, and this is a medium nib, but it's again a lovely writer. Now, I have always had this inked up with an orange ink, and I have this inked up with Sailor Gentle Apricot, and it's an ink that I do like a lot. This is quite a weighty pen. It's a Paravac filler, but it's a pen that I do like, and again it's been one of these pens more recently that I have not been writing with. So one of my New Year's resolutions was to try and get back to some of my older pens that I haven't written with more recently, and that again was another one of them. Now, The next pen is the Visconti Camelot, and this pen has been inked up a lot, and I think it probably hasn't been uninked that much either. Now, this is a pen that was made in or around 2000, and it is currently inked up with Mont Blanc Lavender Purple, which is a lovely purple. But you can see here the lovely filigree here. It's a beautiful, beautiful pen, and it's a Paravac filler, so it does hold a very large capacity of ink. And you can see here in my hand, it's actually a really good size. I don't need to have it posted. I don't normally post my caps. But the nib on this one is an 18 karat gold medium nib. But this is a very, very wet medium nib, and it's a nib that I really, really do like. So the next pen I have here is the Visconti Camelot. And this is a beautiful pen, and it's a pen that I'm really glad that I added to my collection. I have a review of this on my channel. You can see here this lovely overlay, this silver overlay of mesh is absolutely stunning. And as I said, this is the Visconti Camelot. This is inked up with Mont Blanc Lavender Purple, and this is a pen that I have inked up quite a lot actually. And this comes with an 18 karat gold medium nib there, and it's a really lovely wet medium nib. You can see here the size of my hand. This pen is actually a really good size, and it's a pen that I do like a lot. So I tend to keep going back to this pen, but I will have to unink it at some point in the very near future, because I really only want to have no more than 20 pens inked up in a month. Now, the other pens here are the Armando Simone Club Bologna Extra Arco Verdes, and this one has the gold trim, and this is inked up with Ackermann Bezuidenwoodgrün, which is Ackermann number 27. And if I unscrew the cap here, you'll see this comes with an 18 karat gold medium magic flex nib. Now, the nib is laser engraved, so you will find that unfortunately it will catch some of the fluff if you're wiping the nib off, but it will also catch the ink as well. It doesn't stain, it will wash off, but that's one of the downsides I would say about these ASC nibs, is that they are laser etched or laser engraved, so they will sort of, the ink will pool on that nib, unfortunately. And then I have this one here as well, and this is again another Armando Simone Club Bologna Extra Arco Verde, but this is in the rhodium trim, and this is inked up with Ackermann Scharlachen Van Jan Steen. You can see here this Arco material is absolutely stunning. So if I unscrew the cap, and again, you'll see, because of the laser etching on the nib there, that ink does pool on the nib. So again, it will wash off, so it's not a problem, but it's just something to bear in mind. And again, that's one of the downsides of really these ASC nibs. And I do hope that they change that in the near future. They are nice nibs. I do like the engraving on them, but I know a lot of people have said that have the ASC nibs that they don't like how rough texture that sort of engraving part of the nib is, where it laser etches away the surface, makes it quite rough and frosted looking, and the ink will just sit there. Now, the next pen that I have currently inked is this one, and this is an Atelier Lusso, and this is a custom pen, and the model is a Carina, and the material is the Amethyst Fields. Now, this material again is really, really stunning. So this is another pen that I've been writing with over the last few days and weeks, and this is inked up with Diamine Marine, which I think matches this pen perfectly. Now, it comes with a Yovo broad nib, and it's a steel nib, but it's a very, very smooth nib, and I do like the Yovo nibs. So for me, this is a really good workhorse writer of a pen. And then I have a few other pens here, which I haven't done reviews of just yet, but there will be reviews of in the very near future. We have this, and it's a Pilot Vanishing Point, and it's the Crimson Sunrise edition, which was a limited edition. But this is a really lovely coloured pen, and you can see there that crimson sort of blush, sort of sunrise effect going on there. So it is a Pilot Vanishing Point, so it does have a very, very small nib, and you can see there that nib. And these are gold nibs on these, but again, it's a lovely pen. So this is inked up currently with Diamine Robert, which is a UK Cult Pens exclusive, and that is a lovely sort of red ink with a sort of really sort of a, I think it's more of a goldy sheen to it. I think it's a lovely, lovely ink. And then we have this, which is a TWSBI VAC 700R, and I really do like this. I have a lot of TWSBI Diamond 580 ALs, and I actually like this one more than the 580 ALs, and I did like the 580 ALs. Now, this comes with a large nib. It's a steel nib, and I got this in a broad nib. You can see there. But again, like, it's a really, really good size in my hand, and you can see the ink in there. And again, that is Diamine Robert. But this is a really nice pen to write with, and especially with a broad nib, because I like broad nibs. And then we have, again, another Pilot Vanishing Point, and this is the Warden Galaxy, and I hope you can see here on camera this Warden effect going on here. It's really, really stunning. So this is a pen that I do like the look of a lot. I was able to pick it up when it was on a sale, so I was really, really happy that I was able to do that. But this pen really is a gorgeous Warden finish. And I think ultimately I'd like to try and pick up the other Wardens as well. And it is a Pilot Vanishing Point, so you have that nib that just pops out there. And if I try to show you that nib, again, it's a gold nib. Very, very small nibs, but it is a lovely nib. And this comes in a fine nib, and the Crimson Sunrise I got in a broad nib. And then we have the Jacques de Molay. So let me remove the Jacques de Molay, and this is a Visconti, and I've done a review on this one. This is, or was, my birthday pen that I bought for my birthday, and it is a really, really nice pen. It's a pen that I really do like a lot. And you can see here this sort of chainmail effect going on here, very similar to the Camelot. I'll show you the two up close in a minute, but you can see here this lovely effect that it really looks like a knight's armor. And you can see here Jacques de Molay. And if I unscrew this, there's no clip on this pen, but you can see here the size of the pen is actually quite nice. And you can see there it has a 23 cat palladium nib. If I do that a little bit more, you might be able to see it better. And it's a medium nib. But for me, this writes very, very well. And what I'll do, I'll show you also. I showed this on the initial review, but this is a PowerVac filler, and this is the filling knob. So this is quite remarkable there. So this for me is a really lovely pen. I have this inked up with Diamine Earl Grey, but you can see here, if I put these pens side by side, that chainmail here around the cap, it really is quite nice, but very different in colour as well. So the Jacques de Molay has more of an aged look to it, more duller look, and the Camelot here on the left has a more shiny look to it. But these are really lovely pens. So those are the pens that I've had currently inked. What we'll now do is a writing sample. So we have the Visconti Divina Desert Spring. So let's write this out. We'll do a swatch on each of these, just so you can see how that's going to look. And this is the Visconti Divina, and it's the Desert Spring. And the ink in here is Pilot Iroshizuku, and it's Sutsuji. So that is a really nice ink, and you can see if I zoom in a little bit here. And then we'll go to the next pen, and this is the Visconti Watermark. And we'll do a little swatch. Now this is a really lovely ink. This is one of my very few favourite orange inks that I really do like. So it's the Visconti Watermark. It's getting a little bit on the lower side there on the reservoir, double reservoir. And the ink is Sailor Gentle Apricot. You can see there, that ink is really gorgeous. The next pen is the Visconti Camelot. You can see here, this ink is actually a really lovely ink. So Visconti Camelot, and this ink is Mont Blanc, Lavender, Purple. And we'll go to the next pen, and this is the Armando Simone Club Extra Arco Verde. This is Bologna. And this is the gold trim version. So, do another swatch. You can just see how wet that nib is. So I'm just going to abbreviate this to ASC Bologna Extra Arco Verde. And this I haven't inked up for quite some time. So this is the gold trim version. So this is a super wet pen, and it's a pen that I really do like writing with. And the ink is Akamon, and it's a really long one. It's Bezuiden Wood Gron. And for me, that is an ink that I really do like to put in this pen time and time again, because that is a beautiful combination. It's a very wet pen. It's a very nice wet ink as well. So the next pen, again, it's another Bologna Arco Verde. And this, you can see here. Again, it's quite a wet pen. Not quite as wet as the previous one. And I'm going to abbreviate this ASC Bologna Extra Arco Verde. and it's the rhodium trim edition. And then the ink is Akamon, and it's again a very long name. It's a Dutch Masters, and it's Scharlachen Van Jan Steen. But for me, that is a lovely red ink that I do like. And I think this ink flows very well in that pen. And then we have the Atelier Lusso. And this is a steel nib. It's a broad nib, so it does put down a much wider line. So it's an Atelier Lusso, and it's a Carina, and it is the Amethyst Fields. And then the ink is a really nice Diamine ink that has become one of my favourites, Diamine Marine. And then we have the Pilot Vanishing Point in the Crimson Sunrise. I can already see the sheen coming off of this already. So this is the Pilot Vanishing Point Crimson Sunrise, and the ink in here is the fabulous, and it really is a fabulous ink, Diamine Robert. And this ink really is, I don't know if I can show you this but on camera, but this ink really sheens quite nicely here. So that is a gorgeous ink. Now this actually is Oxford optic paper. It's not Tomoe River, and it's still sheening on that. So that's a really good sheening ink. And then I have this, which is the TWSBI VAC 700R. Now, obviously inks do change depending on the pens that they are in. Normally a sheening ink will sheen a lot more in a very wet pen, and a broad pen as well. So this is the TWSBI VAC 700R, and again this is Diamine Robert that I have in here, and it really is becoming one of my favourite inks. But you can kind of see here the difference, that on the Pilot Vanishing Point here, it's drying, it's supposed to have a greeny sheen on it, and I find it's more of a greeny goldy sheen, but it basically turns the ink here on the Pilot Vanishing Point to a greeny gold colour, but not so much in the TWSBI VAC 700R. So it's actually quite interesting how different a pen can make that same ink sheen. And then the last pen here that I have currently inked up for today is the Visconti Jacques de Molay. And we'll just do another swatch. So it's a Visconti Jacques de Molay. And the ink, which again is one of my favourite inks, and I keep blowing through this ink so quickly because I have it inked up in normally several pens, and it's always in my current rotation of inked up pens. Diamine Earl Grey. And that is a stunning ink. So this is an ink that I could always keep going back to. So let's have another look at these. So we have, if I zoom in a little bit more here, we have the Visconti Divina Desert Springs with Pilot Iroshizuku Satsuji. We have Visconti Watermark with Sailor Gentle Apricot. We have the Visconti Camelot with Mont Blanc Lavender Purple. We have the ASC Bologna Extra Arco Verde with Akerman Bezuidenwood Gron. We have the Armando Semeni Club Bologna Extra Arco Verde with Akerman Dutch Masters Charlocken Van Jan Steen. We have an Atelier Lusso Carina Amethyst Fields in the Diamine Marine. And we have the Pilot Vanishing Point in the Crimson Sunrise, inked up with Diamine Robert. We have the Twisby Vac 700R, again inked up with Diamine Robert. And we have the Visconti Jacques de Molay, inked up with Diamine Earl Grey. So there you have it. That's my currently inked video for the 22nd of April 2019. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye bye.